while this report has the audacity to claim that the EU always seeks to reduce the risk of escalation. No, it doesn't. We are witnessing the collapse of the post-war system instigated by the US and Europe, all to shield Israel, our outpost, from consequences. It's a rogue state vested in ensuring instability in the region and US geopolitical goals. In the last month, it's bombed Palestine, Lebanon, Egypt, Syria, all the while claiming it's the victim. It's occupied parts of these countries and bombed them so often that we don't even generally give it a mention. They're doing everything they can. Desperate acts of aggression to provoke a wider conflict with Lebanon, with Iran, with anybody, to draw in the US, to save them from the consequences of their own actions. Illegal, unprovoked, unjustified airstrikes on Yemen. Clearly you couldn't care less about peace in Yemen if you're standing by and seeing civilians being bombed in Yemeni cities who've had nothing got to do with this. 2 weeks ago, Israel bombs Iran's embassy in Syria, an act of aggression against two states, the UN Charter and the Vienna Conventions. Not only no condemnation, but defence of Israel against retaliation. The US has never respected international law. It was always one law for their friends and another for everybody else. Lawless, barbarous acts to inflame the region, when the truth is that the EU has been seriously active, not in preventative diplomacy, but in preventing diplomacy. But after 6 months of throwing international law on the bonfire in Gaza, something is broken. We are in freefall. The very same international law that a horrified world has watched being trampled into the ruins of Gaza, while the EU hands Israel more weapons and cheers on the genocide. They are the ones who have enabled the continuation of Israeli terror. Without them, it would already be over. Strikes on hospitals, normalised. Famine as a weapon of war, normalised. All with impunity. You can't even call for it to stop. You can't even call for a ceasefire. Well, of course you can't, because these crimes against humanity are being carried out with your weapons, in your name, when you stood with Israel a month ago and you said you'd stand with them now and in the days to come. So don't come in here trying to wipe the blood off with belated concern. It's over. The EU has no moral authority. If you want to sort the situation out, end the genocide,